Act 1. The Silver Prince, Aoi Takigawa, knew the exact moment her life had become a performance. It was the day in her first year of high school, when she bent down to pick up a stray kitten near the school gates, and a group of first years gasped, like they were watching a romantic scene unfold in a drama. Someone whispered, "She's like a prince from a shoujo manga." From that day forward, the nickname stuck. The Silver Prince of Seiran High. 3 semesters later, the name still clung to her like glitter on a velvet coat, shiny and impossible to brush off. The problem was, Aoi had never wanted to be anyone's prince. She just wanted to exist without being curated into everyone's ideal fantasy. Being tall and elegant wasn't something she had cultivated. It was something others pinned to her, like a badge. Aoi, who loved baking cookies with her grandmother and cried at documentaries about lost cats, was not the suave, emotionally distant figure people thought she was. But no one ever asked who she really was. They only sighed at her from afar, or flung love letters into her locker like it was a wishing well. On the outside, she played the part well, stoic, graceful, always a little detached, but it wasn't armor. It was a mask. She didn't know how to drop it anymore, even if she wanted to. Then came the rooftop incident. It was late March, cherry blossoms were barely starting to peek open, and the scent of spring mingled with the dry bite of the wind. Aoi had gone up to the rooftop to escape the chaos of the club recruitment fair. Students milled around like caffeinated ants, pushing flyers into hands and shouting slogans about robotics or fashion or archery. Aoi had smiled politely and climbed to her secret haven for some air and peace. But someone was already there. A girl sat perched on the edge of the rooftop, legs dangling over the side like she didn't care about gravity or school rules. She wore the standard uniform with a few personal touches. The tie was knotted loosely, her cardigan sleeves were rolled up to her elbows, and instead of school shoes, she wore worn-out sneakers with neon pink laces. Aoi cleared her throat softly. "You shouldn't be up here. It's off limits." She had a face like trouble. Pretty rakish kind of trouble. Her hair was short, feathered in that artfully lazy way that looked like she'd rolled out of bed and still managed to look perfect. She squinted at Aoi and grinned. "Oh, the school prince speaks. I was wondering if you were just a hallucination. Tall, perfect, glittering with mystery like a diamond in the moonlight. You kind of freak me out, not gonna lie." It was the most honest thing anyone had said to her in months. Aoi wasn't sure whether to be insulted or intrigued. "And you are Misaki?" Ichika Misaki. Second-year delinquent, rooftop enthusiast, part-time cynic. "Aren't you worried about getting in trouble?" Ichika shrugged. "Not really. Life's too short to worry about school rules. Plus, the view's better up here." Despite herself, Aoi stepped forward and glanced over the edge. She had to admit, Ichika was right. From this height, the sports fields looked like tiny dioramas, and the afternoon sun lit the cherry trees like lanterns. Ichika patted the space next to her. "I don't bite much." Aoi hesitated, then sat maintaining a polite distance. They sat in silence for a while, letting the breeze fill the space between them. Aoi found it strangely calming. Most people filled the air with words around her, trying to impress or flirt. Ichika just existed, loudly, rebelliously, but without expectation. "So, Prince," Ichika said, tilting her head. "What's it like being worshipped?" Aoi sighed. "Exhausting." Ichika let out a low whistle. "Didn't expect that answer. Thought you'd say something poetic like, 'It's a burden I must carry for the good of the people.'" Aoi smiled. "Just a little. Sorry to disappoint." Ichika grinned back. "Nah, I like being surprised. Keeps life spicy." The wind caught Aoi's hair, brushing it across her cheek. Without thinking, Ichika reached out and tucked the strand behind her ear. It was a brief touch, warm and startling. Aoi's breath caught. "Just like I thought," Ichika murmured. "You're not who they think you are." Before Aoi could respond, the bell rang, signaling the end of the break. Ichika stood and stretched, her shirt lifting slightly to reveal a sliver of skin. Later, and then she was gone. Aoi sat alone, her fingers brushing her ear where Ichika had touched her. For the first time in a long while, her heart felt off-script. Unrehearsed, maybe this rooftop troublemaker would be the one to rewrite her story, to be continued in Act 2. Moonlight Encounters.